God, show me how to say no to this. Welcome, everybody, to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard broadcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Root Beer. Matt's probably dead.
Yeah, he messaged us before we started, like, I might not survive 30 minutes, and that was 30 minutes ago. So, well, probably not. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. I know it's been a few weeks.
Yes.
Couple weeks ago was the Dodgers getting their ass kicked the first night of the World Series as I went to go check on my dad. That's why I was missing. And then last week I was seeing Hadestown with my lovely wife. And it was Halloween. I love that show, and it's great.
Nice.
Have you listened to it before?
No, I have not. I'm very uncultured.
It, much like Hamilton, is sung through, so you can just kind of put the album on and get the gist, which is good. And now I'm here, and things have happened.
Oh.
Are we starting with the promos or with premium?
We can start with the promo. Let me go find it real quick. I mean, it's not like the promo thing isn't that extreme. It's more of a funny. Did our bot just not post the latest updates?
I didn't for premium. I don't know about the promos because
it has not posted anything. Cool. Let me go.
You said like signs of life from premium. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go check. And I was like, where is it? As I was getting ready this morning, I ended up having to watch Devlin Cassidy's video. Shout out to Devlin, who has been on this show before.
Yeah. Again, like neither thing that we're gonna talk about on the Vanguard front is that big, but you know, it is worth. I should put all these in a separate fucking window.
I'm drinking cider mixed with mead, like my Viking ancestors taught me. We went apple picking that weekend. We went to go see Hadestown with my in-laws. Katie got a big jug of cider, and I got a thing of mead. Have you ever had mead before?
I don't really do alcohol.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that. In the past?
No, I have not.
Okay. So mead is fermented honey. And it was very, like, during the Viking expansion, like Northern Europe and in Eastern Europe, like Russia, it was the alcohol of choice where, like, wine wasn't really an option. And depending on the climate, neither was beer. So mead. And mead plus apple cider equals delicious. And, Atlas is flying right now. So,
speaking of, did you ever get around to watching Tasting History?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, that's okay.
Yeah,
that can happen when I come home for the BCS.
Yes, which is in December.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a remote possibility the government is functioning by then. I doubt it, but, you know, it's possible.
There has been a rumor going around that, because there's all the pressure from the courts, like, you have to release the SNAP money. And the rumor going around is that he spent it on Argentina or just on himself, which means that, like, that question is going to get more and more awkward as time goes on.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It was a pretty good week this week with the elections and both Prop 50 good. And Mamdani and like all the other stuff.
Yeah. All the other Democrats that are getting elected.
Yes. Or even just like places that were deep red, like Mississippi, breaking the supermajority.
Yeah.
It's nice to see.
Yeah. All very nice stuff.
Yes. I don't know. Not a lot has really happened on the like school front. No wacky stories. I think I'm supposed to have had a formal observation by this point, and I haven't. When I talked to my union rep and was like, "Hi, what am I supposed to do do I go to admin and be like, can you guys formally observe me? Which is like, oppress me harder, daddy. Like, I don't know how to do that in a non-weird way. And he's like, okay, so how this works is, they are required to let you know that you are due for one. And I was like, I know I'm due for one. I'm a district intern. He's like, I know, but they are still required to be like letting you know so that you can set up the date together. And I'm like, what happens if they don't? And he goes, well, the ball is kind of like, we kind of have all the cards in that case because it's their responsibility. And I want to believe him because that would be great for me to be like, you guys didn't come to me with the formal observation. But what probably will happen if I don't do anything is they're going to, at the end of the year, be like, hey, we didn't formally observe you and now it's too late. So bye. Like, you get disgraced or thrown into an angry void somewhere or something. So on Monday, I'm just going to be like, hi, can we set up a formal observation against my better judgment?
Yeah. I don't have any like crazy work stories going on either. Like I booked my flights to fly down for the BCS. Hopefully that doesn't get delayed as reference to government functioning.
Down.
Like I looked into Amtrak and I was like, yeah, so there's no direct route from San Francisco to LA. So if I wanted to go down by train, the fastest one would be 11 and a half hours and I would need to transfer halfway through.
Yeah. It's really sad. I think with trains, like obviously we don't have high-speed rail, so of course it's going to take that long.
Yeah.
But also, it's not a sign like, oh, it sucks and we should leave it. Fucking add more, tracks and nationalize the railroads like they used to be, and add more infrastructure, and then people will want to use that instead of the plane, right? Because it's like, oh, it's 6 hours to take a train to go visit Meemaw, but instead of like, okay, maybe it's a 2.5 hour flight, but it's more expensive to fly, and the airports are really crowded. So like, you take some of that pressure off the airports. This is my little urbanist rant that I always do. One of my students this week asked me what my dream car was, and it was like the fucking like the anime angry vein in the back of my head. And I'm just like, I don't really have one. And he's like, mister, you don't want to drive around in a cool Mustang? I'm like, I just don't really care about cars that much. Why don't you care about cars? Oh, okay. You release the beast. Time for 45 minutes of me going all complaining about Judge Doom and fucking Robert Moses.
Nice.
Pumpkin, are you just like hidden in the blankets? What's up with you? I think you might have gone back to the living room.
Okay.
Like I'm talking like it's a children's TV show. Where's Blue?
All right, so I'm going to talk about promos. That's not the present button. There we go. I have to go back to Twitter because our bot just stopped posting things.
What? I wonder what happened with the bot.
Yeah. So this is the latest promo for Youthquake Volume 7, releasing on December 8th. So it's a Dark States order. You can perform one of the following. Draw a card in Soul Charge 1. If you have a Vanguard with Paimonus in its name, search your deck for one Swordsman of Demon Covenant Mizel and call it to Rearguard Circle. And so as you can see in this parentheses, if you don't recognize either of these names, don't worry. The deck hasn't been released yet.
Oh. So they're just like, here's a promo for a thing in the future. Do we know the deck yet? Or is this just like, this is the tease for it?
Like, it's a Youthquake archetype, so I'm assuming it's going to be released in set 12. It's just interesting they decided to reveal it in this order.
Yes.
Like, like, okay, like if it does come out in set 12, then it will probably be revealed to us within like a couple of weeks. It's just weird that like here's a promo for a deck that we haven't revealed yet.
It kind of reminds me of like how Legend ZA, Pokemon Legend ZA is out, and they're like, what could the abilities be for the Pokemon? Because they on purpose, like it's not part of the game, so they're just like, okay, what do these Mega Evolutions do? So like that, or you're just like, what's the rest of the deck going to look like based off of this one promo?
Yeah, like you would know if you read Youthquake, which I haven't, because that one isn't being published in English, unlike Skyride. But yeah, this is just like a funny little thing of like, like we just know the promo before the actual deck. Especially because like the other reveals this week were just like Estacion support, so it's like, why didn't they just reveal the promo alongside the rest of the deck that it's supposed to support? Again, assuming that it is coming out in set 12, there's a very real possibility it just doesn't.
And then what?
And then we just have a promo for a deck that literally doesn't exist.
Okay. Kind of reminds me of like very early Vanguard with Nubatama as a clan, where they're just like, here's a couple Nubatama cards. Oh, these are too powerful. We're not going to do Nubatama anymore. We've turned it into a clan called Murakumo. Murakumo sucks. Okay, we'll bring back Nubatama. Like
all the way in like
what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
Wasn't it all the way until like break rides were introduced that they finally gave Nubatama more support?
Correct. Yeah. And then like it's still a really strong mechanic. So they've always kind of been like either off meta or way too meta. In some form or another. Murakumo has been meta once, and that's it. And that
was after they rebooted the game.
Yes. And on top of that, they're like, okay, that was too much. And then they've never even come close ever again. It's like the thing where
V doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, even aside from V, like a game, them not having the foresight even back then is still affecting a clan a decade later. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. All right. And then the other thing is there's more than this that was announced on the live stream, but you know, they're announcing Premium Weekend. We don't actually know what this is yet. If it's like a series of events, if it's literally one weekend, but Premium Weekend.
Raise a glass to premium. Something that I will never see again until now. I am fucking stoked, even though I don't know what this is. Like we were talking about, like, oh, is it dead? You know, they do this nuclear ban list that everyone's stoked about, and then nothing. Which this could also just be them trying to appease us, where they're like, yeah, you get a weekend. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or it could be the start of something new. I don't really have a good answer.
Yeah, like I didn't watch the live stream, but to my understanding, like that's all this is just like they announced Premium Weekend. Stay tuned for more information. So like that's all we have is just the name Premium Weekend. We don't know what this actually means.
Yes.
And then
I'll put it on ice for later. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we're getting a premium ban list to be announced in December 2025. So they are at least communicating that the ban list will exist. I don't know why it doesn't currently exist, but you know, it will exist in a month or so. I assume they're still making it.
They are. I don't know. I feel like in a very lost state of affairs when it comes to Vanguard right now. Like this has given me a little spark of hope, I think, but this is good that they fucking. Does this kill Bob Sagra or like not kill it, make it not a problem?
I mean, that's still good.
Well, now it becomes a Garnet. All right, it's undamaged. I don't have to worry about it for a while. Or hope they don't get a heal.
Yeah, so the standard ban list is just porting what Japan did.
Of course.
But yeah, Trick Moon to 1 does not kill Bob Sagra. I need to use the bathroom, but keep talking.
Okay, Trick Moon to 1 does not kill Bob Sagra somehow, even though it's there. I think if it's at 1, that means that, like, if you are one of those people where, like, you put the Trick Moon into damage early, congratulations. You at least don't have to worry about Trick Moon for a little bit.
No.
That doesn't mean they don't get to keep their, like, crazy 5 attack deck, but, you know, one
Like,
less
deck
thing.
still 5 attack. Deck still has very strong resource recursion. Still pretty consistently wipes the board. Like, has the shield for, like, a defensive play. Like, all of the things that made Bob Sagra sticky, that, like, allows it to keep up in longer games, are all still things it can do. It's just losing Trick Moon means sometimes they won't see it at all. And if they do see it, they're not going to be able to make, like, crazy 60k side columns. It's either just the Vanguard or, you know, like, they put it on one of the side columns. And
They're
then, of course,
probably going to put it on Vanguard just for that counter charge, though.
yeah. And of course, like, only having the 1 Trick Moon means they're not able to cycle counter charges as easily.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the deck is still going to adapt. The grade 1 from set 10, the new one that they just got, is going to be like a restanding booster for it. So, like, the short-term change is you just slot in copies of the grade 1 to replace the Trick Moons you lost, and then, you know, in set 11, people start experimenting with weird crossover dress hybrids.
Interesting. That seems like you could run into trouble a lot. I don't know how I feel about that. I've said on this show a lot, I hate decks that like you want to be on this Vanguard for this scenario and then right into this one to do this. This is like that, but with your rear guards, or it's like I'm gonna have this so I can crossover dress with this other thing. It just feels like icky to me. I'm probably gonna be proven wrong because I always am, but you know.
Anyways, you said you were feeling a bit lost on Vanguard. Care to elaborate while I finish up in the bathroom?
I like how he had to add, that's where I am. That's the confirm where I am. Just like lost as in like I've been just up to other things in my life. And you know, emergencies aside, this show has kind of become on the back burner, and I apologize for that. But it just, I'm in my 30s and doing other stuff, and
fair.
That doesn't mean like this is the last episode of Nexus at Night, not like that, but just like, I don't know what kind of person I'm gonna be within the next year, and what's gonna, like, you know, you have some ideas, right? I'm probably gonna be at the same school, probably gonna finish Cal TPA in my internship, that sort of thing. But like, as I've been writing more and working on my musical and stuff, that's really kind of been this stuff floating around in my brain the most. And also just, you know, having my students be kind of weirdos, good, but weirdos. I have a kid who likes to say my name in a very high register, which I don't know if it's a stim or he's just doing it to troll me, but he goes like, Mr. Novak, like that. And he does it like randomly. Like when the students are all working on something, I'll like hear it across the room. He'll shout it at me across campus. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not going to tell him to stop because he's just going to do it more. But I know there's going to be like at some point, one of the other kids would be like, will you shut the fuck up? This is starting to piss me off. And it's like, yeah, it's a very annoying thing for me. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like a product of getting older and doing things, being a married person, and more things collide with each other more.
Yeah.
What's up with the other half of the ban list? I see restricted to 2 to unrestricted, so they went from 2 to 3 or 2 to 4. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
These decks aren't good now, so they can have the good cards back.
Okay. No biggie.
Yeah. All right. So the other thing that we had planned for tonight is Reddit stories, because that was something we've been just bouncing around on the back burner for a little while, and I found some like interesting ones. Okay, I found one that's interesting, one that's a complete fucking train wreck, and one that's just like painfully obvious so that we could have like a palate cleanser in between.
Okay. All right, let it fly then.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's get back to presenting.
I like. Do you ever have like a rapport with a certain friend where they'll just like say random shit out of nowhere, and then you're like, okay, I just we're on this now.
No. I mean, yeah, like with my gaming friend group, we'll just say like random shit sometimes.
Exactly. My friend right now is I haven't talked to them in 6 hours. Has Been Hotel is a hot mess. Like just immediately it decided to hit me up to talk about that. So that's what they're ranting about. Okay, what are we looking at?
All right. So this one's from Am I the Asshole? It was posted 2 days ago. It's Am I the asshole for telling my husband I'll go on vacation with the kids and my best friend and if he's too busy with work? So, my husband and I have been married for over 4 years. Our son is 3, our daughter is 16 months old. My husband has a busy schedule due to both a day job and a side business that he does on Saturdays, and sometimes, if I'm okay with it, Sundays. We had planned to go to Spain at the end of December for a couple of weeks. Like, we bought the tickets, booked the hotel, talk about how we're going to spend the time there. Last weekend, he asked if we could postpone the trip to the end of June, like literally 6 months after we're supposed to go. I said no. It was so unfair that he was pulling it at the last minute. He asked me to understand his business suddenly required him to change his plans. That was important, that he'd been looking forward to it as much as I had. To provide more context, this isn't the first time we've had an issue. His business hours have been an issue over the past 2 to 3 years. He'd made changes and organized his hours better, and his job had become work from home too, so we had struck a balance that I could be okay with. But now his business hours are starting to infringe on our family time, and he'd been promoted, so he's going to be working in the office for his day job too. I told him I'd been looking forward for this for so long, counting the days for vacation. I told him I'll be going regardless, whether he wants to come or not, and if he doesn't come, we can get a refund and my best friend can go in his place. Admittedly, I was just lashing out. I have no idea what the logistics are. Yesterday I asked again what his plan was. He tried to show me messages from his client to show how busy he was during that period. I told him I don't care. He gave me his word, according to him. I'm being unreasonable. I wanted to know if I'm the asshole here. Also, I don't even know if it's logistically feasible, but would I be the asshole if I just actually went on vacation with my friend?
Okay, I have many scruples with with this. Okay, first off, I'm not saying don't travel if you have small children, but going to Europe with small children, like that's a real experience. I assume this person's American, right?
Assuming.
That's like a big deal. It's expensive to go to Europe, and you're wasting it on a 3-year-old and a can't even talk year old. Might not even be walking year old. I feel like that's a waste on its own, but the real problem is the husband and the wife. They are doing something similar to when I was a kid, which is the mom wants more family time. The dad is trying to provide for the family, and that's how he sees himself as like being a good father and a good husband. And that's where they're like clashing with each other. And I think if you're the like I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to be like, I'm going to Europe for a bit and I'll be back in like a couple of weeks. Like if you are, your business will be fine. I bet. And at the same time, I do think it's kind of a jerk move to be like, I'm just going to slot you out with the friend. So yeah, she is the asshole for doing that, but also the husband is not blameless. Like, just fucking go on vacation with your family.
Okay.
Where do you land on that?
Okay, well, here's the thing: is I have more context on this post than you do, which is why I'm like,
touche.
So,
yeah, this
the
is
reason that I've brought this up is because, as is alluded to, this isn't the first time this has been an issue, and this is also not the first time this person has posted it. And am I the asshole?
Oh,
so
okay. Then it turns into like, okay, someone please tell me I'm not the asshole. Please, I need vindication.
So, from 2 years back, am I the asshole for telling my husband he works for himself and not our family?
Oh,
so,
no.
My husband and I have been together for 6 years, married for 3. We have a 1-year-old son and we're expecting another baby. Our marriage has been full of emotional highs. We love each other very much and let each other know regularly. My husband has a 9-to-5 job, after which he's also a tutor. He has started this back when we were in college and it was never an issue. He always had enough time. Even in the years leading up to marriage and the first year of our marriage, it was never a big issue. However, in the last year or so, it has become one and it's getting worse. He keeps on adding more classes to his schedule. Until last month, we had a red line, no classes on Sundays. He would devote that entire time to us. But last month, he added a Sunday class on the excuse that exams are starting. It's starting to feel like me and my son aren't a priority for him anymore. Sometimes he comes home at 11. Other days he does it online, but that's not much better because he still can't give us any time. Last Sunday, I finally spoke to him and told him he was neglecting his family. He was offended and told me he doesn't enjoy having to work so hard, but he's doing it for our family. This is where I told him, no, I think he does it. I think he does enjoy it. It gives him an excuse not to spend time with us and that he's doing it for himself and not for us. As things currently stand, our collective income is more than enough. There was really no need for him to add more classes on top of existing ones. He's doing it for himself. He's busy Monday through Saturday, and now he's trying to cross the red line we established on Sunday. We've been on bad terms since this fight. He keeps saying he can't believe I said that. Am I the asshole?
Okay, so not only has he crossed the red line and Sunday is no longer a problem by like the new post, also a tutor? Fuck you. I thought the side gig was like, I don't know, something more important than that. I guarantee you your clients will be like, hey, I'm going to Europe. Okay, I'll be good with the math. I'll see you in 2 weeks. What? There's no problem. Very clearly just being like, I hate my baby. I don't want to like fuck him so hard. I am feeling white hot neglected childhood rage right now with this guy. My dad was at least a doctor, you son of a bitch. he was coming home late, but at the very least he was like saving people's eyes and like doing surgeries. Tutoring? Fuck you. I think the first one, she's definitely not the asshole. This one, yeah, this is turning into a like, okay, both people are the problem, but in different ways. Overall, if you count in both, it's the husband.
Yeah.
What
there's also multiple updates to that first one.
Oh god, there's more.
Yeah. So update, thank you for the feedback. The comments said that me asking him to adhere to the boundaries was reasonable. Some comments suggested I should not have implied that he works just to get away. So, she was apologetic for that. And after he came back, they had a talk. The conversation was a bit of a train wreck. I brought up the fact that our income far exceeds the current and projected expenses, that me and our son were missing him and they needed to spend more time with us. I made sure to stress that I appreciated all he did. It just seems like we're on completely different wavelengths. He said he kept on taking more lessons and students because he wanted us to have a good standard of living, better vacation, better school, second house. I was dumbfounded. I never knew he felt that way. I stressed our current standard of living was great. We make enough money, and if he thinks that there's no end in sight, what if he decided what we should have a third house or something? Right now, I needed him with me. At this point, I kind of lost control and started crying. I didn't mean to. It wasn't something I wanted to do to pressure him or anything. Just the fact that we were at an impasse was wrecking me. Told him I'd been feeling unhappy and that I kept compromising, and he reneged on it. After some more crying and consoling, my husband agreed that Sunday should have remained off limits. He gently asked me to give him a pass for one more Sunday because the students' exams end next week, and he would make Sunday untouchable again. He almost promised to resize his classes in order to be able to come back home for dinner, even if it's late dinner. He asked for some time to do this. I've given it to him, and I know he loves us enough to do what he promised. Thanks for the feedback. Updates, and some of you have been kind enough to check in. It's been we're in a better place since the last post, so he's had to revisit the issue in the form of bedtime conversations, but overall it's better. He made changes to his class structure, increasing the sizes, switching to more online classes, becoming more selective about one-on-one tutoring, learning to say no. Sundays have become sacred again. Since past months, he's home by 7:30-ish on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Friday and Saturday continues to be a bit of a contentious issue, but we'll work on it. I've also had to put my foot down a few times when he's asked to break the agreement on some occasions. It doesn't feel great, but I have to. I also made it clear if he's going to have to give us a lot more time when our baby girl arrives. We've hired some help, but that can't be a substitute for him being around. And then,
okay, is this just like Torture Atlas? This went into the idea. I liked that they're working on the issue together, because like probably how the guy sees it is like, the monetary providing is the extent of your job as a husband and a father, but like having a dick in a job doesn't cut it anymore. And I think that also like fits into the whole male loneliness epidemic thing. Like, you gotta be like a person and be there for your loved ones. And it's not just like, I bring home the check and then I leave again. Like you gotta be present and like read to your kids and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they're working on it, at least.
Yeah. So second update, we're in a better place now. We've been blessed with a daughter now too. He's become better at handling his workload and tutors primarily online. I know I had said at the time it's not much better, but it really is. Some days are sacrosanct, with some rare occasions where he asks for approval in advance. And Wednesdays are free now too. He does more group tutoring and gets done by 8:30 most days. He also got a new day job, which is entirely work from home, which has made things much better since he isn't so burnt out anymore. In the weeks following up to the daughter's arrival, he'd been with her and also took some advice, and they hired some help, which also helped to ease the burden a bit. I've also learned to embrace the fact that his tutoring does give him joy, which maybe his software development job doesn't. He seems proud when his students get into good university, and that it results in even more students signing up. He still claims to purely do it for financial reasons, but I know that can't be completely true because our finances really don't require it. So it must be something he enjoys. So I've become more understanding on that front. I've had to put my foot down a few times, especially in the initial days following our conversation, to make sure he understands that I was serious about needing him more. I had also confided in his older sister about the issue, which he was not happy about. But it helped. They had an argument. She just straight up told him he was either going to work his way into an early grave or end up getting divorced, which helped.
Okay, the older sister is my favorite character in this entire thing. We're like, we roll together as family. Oh, what's that? My little brother's being an a-hole. He's being a fucking a-hole. And he's gonna die from working too hard. Just A+ older sister.
Yeah. See, like, understanding all the extra content, I'm leaning towards calling the OP not the asshole for the latest update in this saga, because like clearly this has been an ongoing problem of him like not being present for her.
Right.
Like, I was thinking about this meme, like the husband is like the ogre who only understands surface level themes. Like, he understands that he needs to make free time because various people have yelled at him about it, but I don't think he fully grasps the deeper underlying concept that he needs to be present with his family.
Probably not. I mean, like, I think at a certain point, what's the difference? Like, if you're getting the result, but if he's not quite understanding, the reason why he has to be there, but he's doing it. It's like the what's it called? Like, if it's stupid and it works, then it's not stupid. Yeah, right.
I mean, the problem is like it's still not working when things like this come up, right? Like, because he doesn't understand the deeper concept, he's now like reneging on this vacation that they've planned.
Yes, and then also like she has to keep reaffirming the boundary. Like, he's not. He keeps trying to like push it. And she's like,
yeah.
No. You'd think he would just kind of get with the program after a while.
Yeah, and that I'm trying to find the comment, but somewhere in the comment she talks about how she might be okay. She's willing to like compromise with him on it if maybe he does the like work from or the online tutoring while they were in Spain, which I mean, I feel like she's being a little too accommodating at this point. Like in the last update, she was like,
you are in the Iberian Peninsula and you're like, I'm going to teach some high schoolers some math. Fuck you. Go enjoy your vacation.
Like in the last update, she's like trying to embrace the fact that despite what he says, he probably does enjoy the tutoring, but like you're probably being too accommodating for it. Like he keeps trying to push this boundary.
Yeah. Maybe one day it'll click and like I get the feeling that parents can be better parents depending on the age of their kid. Like, what if he's just really bad at being a parent when the kids are little, and as he gets older, that's when he kind of grows into his own? Who knows? Like, I think my dad is a better parent with teenagers than he was when, like, because I basically got to see with my half siblings, I got to see it from the start to now. And he's a much better parent as when they were teens than he was when they were little. And probably the same with my sister and I, my older sister. So maybe he's just like, okay, I'm going to be good when they're like angsty and like, oh no, boys or whatever, or that sort of thing. And he's just really bad when they're little, and you got to make sure there's all the, guardrails in place and make sure they don't brain themselves on the coffee table.
Oh, yeah. So that was that. And now for one that's just like painfully obvious as a palate cleanser. Right. Am I the asshole for staying with my niece after the closest thing she had to a mother died? So I have a niece, 21, Penelope. I called her my niece, but don't really know how we're related. I guess this is an Asian family kind of thing where it's like, yeah, so that person's your uncle. Are we actually related? I don't know. We like came on the boat together. He's your uncle. Penelope lives with her.
Did you have anything like that growing up? Like aunts and uncles who are just like,
I have like a bunch of cousins that I'm not 100% sure how I'm actually related to them.
That's pretty funny.
I'm vaguely sure that like their parents and my parents fled Vietnam together on the boat, and so they're my cousins now.
Oh.
Again, that's just how Asian family dynamics work. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
That guy's your uncle.
Yeah. Blood of the covenant, right?
Yeah. So Penelope lived with her grandparents when she was 2 months old until she was 18. Once she graduated from high school, they sold their house, moved into assisted living, bought her a nice 3-bed, 2-bath near me about an hour away. They make sure she's doing okay financially, and I was asked to check in on her, make sure she was doing okay on her own. Until recently, that meant just stopping by with dinner once a week and helping her manage living alone. Her grandma was sick for 2 months, had 2 surgeries, spent a month in the hospital, and was being fed through a tube. Over the weekend, Penelope was staying with her to give her uncles a break. Her grandpa left at 9, and grandma was doing fine. By around 11, she was struggling to breathe, so the nurses propped her up to help her swallow her saliva, suction her throat, give her nausea medication because nausea could impact her ability to swallow. Later, she asked Penelope to lower the bed so she could lay down to sleep. Shortly after that, she couldn't breathe and was in a lot of pain, so they sat her up again, did the whole suction meds. After an hour later, that she was still in severe pain, gave her more meds. 45 minutes later, she stopped breathing and they chose not to resuscitate. Penelope is a wreck. She blames herself for the situation by laying grandma down. Closest thing she had to a mother, and they were incredibly close. Penelope would drive down to visit her at least twice a week, and they talk on the phone, gossip about the aunties, fly people in her facility / Penelope's school, work on a near daily basis. After grandma died, she couldn't sleep for nearly 3 days. The only thing she could eat were glucose gels if her blood sugar was low. She's diabetic. And even then, I had to spoon feed it to her. She couldn't get off the couch. I chose to stay with her until she proves enough that she can stay home alone. We're already making some improvement. She'll sleep through the night if I'm in bed with her, and we're eating a couple small deals away. Found her a therapist that'll start on Tuesday. The problem is my fiance is upset that I'm never home except to get more clothes. He wants me to stop cuddling Penelope because she's an adult and needs to know how to function on her own. Now I'm wondering if I'm the asshole.
Jeez, this is wow. That like the first half of that read like a Kafka book. And then all of a sudden, like the asshole husband comes in at the end.
Yep.
Hey, so I'm a cockroach, and I don't really understand how I became like this. Oh, and my friend is wondering why I haven't called him in a week. Okay, all right. Yeah. So, hey Eric, what's up? Wow, that's no, you're not the asshole. You're doing fine. That is a real hard situation to be in.
Yep. Yeah, so that was just a little palate cleanser of like,
that's the palate cleanser.
Yeah, because this one is just like obvious. It's just like,
yes. Okay, obvious, good. Soul crushing is an entirely different.
I know.
Okay.
I was trying to find like a funnier one, but I couldn't find. Or I could find.
You have a sick sense of humor.
I don't think this one's funny. I just think that the guy being the asshole is so painfully obvious.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like easy to digest.
There are people who post online where it's like they know they are the asshole or not the asshole. They just need the validation. I think in this case, we're like, that is a lot for a person to go through. I do not blame them at all for posting that online, because at a certain point, you're tired, you're hungry, you're like just emotionally drained trying to comfort this person who saw their mother figure die before their eyes, and you have like a survivor's guilt. And then your husband's just like, babe, when are you coming back? Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Well, here's a
an asshole husband. Oh my god.
Here's a funny one that I just know off the top of my head. Guy who's not a cat person. How do I gently stop my neighbor's cat from bringing me dead things?
Okay. All right.
I've got a pretty large property and don't mind the neighbor's cat hanging out, chasing mice and other things, but it's constantly walking right up to me and bringing me dead things when I'm outside. I don't feed the cat and barely pay attention to it, except when it rubs up against me and purrs. I'll give it a quick pat, move on to whatever I was doing, gardening, etc. Basically, I ignore it. Anyways, the frequency of dead things plopped at my feet has gotten to almost every day. I don't want to be mean and scared or anything. It's welcome to relax or prowl the yard, but it's a long walk from one end of the yard to my trash cans to dispose of things, and it's getting real old real fast.
Okay, first off, he keeps saying dead things, not like dead mice, dead birds, which leads me to believe that the variety of things is growing over time. That it's like, oh, this is a dead parakeet. Where did you find a parakeet? Cats always find a way. But the other reason that, like, the reason that cats do this is it's like it thinks you're part of its family, and it's like, oh, the poor buddy doesn't know how to hunt. I'll go hunt for him. So he thinks he's doing a good thing as the cat.
So, first update, in a nutshell, neighbor's cat keeps bringing dead things almost daily. I don't hate cats, but I don't prefer them. Cats are cool. If the cats around are cool, no big deal. I'm an animal lover. No issues with the cat itself. It's just kind of annoying that it brings dead things. And, the update, the actual issue is that, sometimes it'll bring dead things and I don't find them right away, and it attracts ants. Where I'm at, ants can just pop up out of nowhere, and hundreds or more of dead things are not disposed of quickly. This summer, I've been at war with ants, and they're such a pain to deal with, especially if they're swarming the dead things left by the cat. Then you have to lug the dead thing way over to the trash can. I've been working hard to get the yard landscape the way I've wanted, planted specific flowers to attract birds, butterflies, other small wildlife. It's gotten close to looking like a little sanctuary. It requires a ton of maintenance as I clean daily. Any seeds not eaten in the feeders, mowing, trimming. The cat walking around the yard is no issue since it's not bothering anything except for mice, and seems to enjoy the yard versus his owner's yard for some reason. It's an older cat, and I don't think it's right to spray it with a water bottle or scare it off. I called my vet to get their advice. He said I could just soak salt and balls 1-to-1 with food-grade vinegar and water, lightly dab wrists, ankles, shoes, etc. The vinegar is solely safe, but cats don't like the vinegar and will associate the scent with me, and in theory should stop approaching him and trying to give me dead things. The vet said that it's a good idea to actually lure the cat to me with a simple treat to make sure it approaches me, smells me, dislike it, and leave. So one quick stop at the market for vinegar, cotton ball, cat treats, dabbing myself with vinegar, problem solved, right? Nope. Now my dog won't come up to me for the rest of the day. My wife said I
Oh.
stunk and demanded I shower. I told her I had a lot of chores outside in the yard, and she says I can't step into the house until I've showered. I told her I would shower after my chore. Cat showed up as usual, brought another dead thing, part of a grasshopper this time. And I did what the vet said, gave the cat a treat. Not only approached me and didn't flinch at the smell, but went crazy purring and rubbing up against me after I gave it the treat. Like purring so hard I could feel the reverberations when it rubbed against my pant leg. Usually the damn cat follows me around most of the day. Or unusually, the damn cat followed him around, kept interfering, purring, sweeping, running in front of me while I'm carrying things, zipping between my legs, laying down right where I'm about to trim. I gently move him and the little bastard kept coming back. I make sure I hold out my wrist for it to smell, and that did jack shit. Cat didn't seem to care or notice the vinegar smell. I did a lot of work in the yard, but still had more to do, so I was going to take a quick nap on the couch and then get back to yard, but my wife wouldn't have any of it and kicked me out. She told me to go nap near the pool in the nice shaded area I had set up with the lawn furniture. Didn't want to argue with the boss, so I went to the hammock. Took a nice nap, only to find the fucking cat sleeping on my chest, purring ass right in my face. I gently let it down on the ground so I could get back to my yard, and right there under the hammock, another dead thing the cat left for me, covered in ants. Fuck my life, I give up.
Okay, so at a certain point, I think the cat's like, I'm just gonna fuck with this guy, right? Yeah. Like, there's a trolling at some point, part of it. Also, I recently learned that ants hate cinnamon. Do with that information what you will. Yeah. So we have an ant problem at our school, and they're always like, call the plant manager. It's a really big school.
I'm gonna go get some water real quick.
So the plant manager is never here when you call him. It's always like, I came in 3 days. You're like, okay, but the ants are here now. So yeah, I've started like scattering cinnamon in front of my door, like I'm trying to ward off a ghost with the salt. So I just have a little like line of cinnamon in front of my door. It's working. Like you see the little like line of ants going alongside the building. They do a little like big loop. So they get away, and then they keep going along the side of the building. So
yeah,
worked pretty good. Yeah. Oh God, there's more?
Yeah, no, the updates are really long, so I'm going to start like summarizing them.
Okay, doing like a TLDR. Yeah.
Yeah. So, answering a couple questions from before. Maybe the cat belonged to someone else. Nope. OP has owned the property for 20 years. Are there any poisonous plants? To my knowledge, no. The dog, he has a dog that he really likes and wanted to make sure nothing would be harmful for the dog. So same reason why, despite the really easy problem, doesn't want to use any pesticides or anything. So trial
also,
and error.
That's kind of mean. Like, even if the cat is an asshole, don't do that.
Yeah. So trial and error advice from the thread that worked or didn't work. Citrus and peppermint. Didn't want to make the same mistake as the vinegar. The day that he tried vinegar, his dog avoided him all day, and it would only come when I insisted. The only citrus I had around was some strong soap. The cat didn't care. Ignore the cat completely. Impossible. The cat refuses to be ignored. The more I ignore it, the more it would insist on itself. Eating in the front of it, but do not feed it. Didn't work. The cat would just stare at me, bob its head back and forth, and then still brought dead things. Love bomb the cat. No. Not only did smothering the cat with affection, it backfired. Like, the cat became obnoxiously clingy. So basically, like, nothing worked. After trying some of the advice, it actually got worse. The cat still came around, still brought a bunch of dead things. And then there was one day where he didn't see the cat, or so he thought. And so, he went to get all the stuff that he needed to get, like, some nice compost, do some work in the yard. No cat. And so he thought, like, maybe things were finally good. Maybe the cat finally left him alone. Nope, his wife found the cat.
Oh, God.
So, yes, his wife found the cat, liked it, and fed the cat. And so... this is just like a transcript of his conversation with his wife, where he's going back and forth, talking about how, like, the vinegar was trying to ward off the cat, that it was advice given to him by the vet. And, finally he decided he was just going to grab the little bastard and, like, give it back to their neighbor. Okay. It wasn't their fucking cat.
Oh, this was just a cat.
Yep.
Out in the world. That's really funny. They're like, okay, this fucking cat who's my neighbor's, this isn't ours. And then it's like, I'm a troll, I'm a demon.
Yeah.
I'm a fairy. Like, just, that's crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah. And and just in case there was any doubt, the neighbor's little 4-year-old daughter came up, looked at the cat. All right, cats don't bullshit. Or the children don't bullshit. If it was actually the neighbor's cat and they were just lying about it for whatever reason, the kid would tell. Nope, the cat was just like, ooh, kitty. Didn't know the cat isn't there. So now he's like, fuck. So he goes to Kevin, his vet, to see if there's anything with the cat, no chips or anything. And Kevin is just like, yeah, so the cat's broken. Like, what do you mean by broken? Like, no, like, just look at it, I mean that, like, he took the cat, cradled it in his back, and just stared at him calmly. He put it on the table, gently grabbed both his hind leg, pumped them up and down, went chugga 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 choo choo, and the cat just kind of stared at him, like, see, broken. And that, like, the cat is very docile.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, like, after going back and forth with the cat, he's like, the cat really likes you, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it would probably be cruel to take the cat away from you. But if you really don't want the cat, there's a billion ladies in the vet office who would probably take the cat for you. At least he didn't feed it, right? And then he told him that the wife already fed him and that she really likes the cat. And Kevin is just like, you're fucked.
Yep, it's your cat now.
Yep.
I think like if he leaned into the skid and it's like, okay, you're an indoor cat now. Yeah. Like, that seems like that solves itself.
Yeah, like, and anyways, like, the finale of this. Anyways, we're at PetSmart. She's looking at outfits for the cat, and I'm at the pet door section for the cat.
Like how he just kind of like calmly accepts his fate. All right, getting a pet door for the fucking cat. Okay, that's a palate cleanser.
Yeah. All right, and now for a complete train wreck.
Oh my god, there's more. Okay. This is the last one.
This is the last one.
Okay.
So this is from Best of Redditor Updates. This thread was posted 7 days ago. The original post was from 2019. There are 3 updates.
That's a hell of a time to update.
Yeah. So my 24F boyfriend, M29, had his female best friend over, staying at his house for the week, and it's weird. What was this original? Oh, it was in relationship advice. So I've been dating a guy, we'll call him Josh, for about 6 months. He's great, we're compatible, I've definitely fallen for him, though we haven't said the love word yet. It feels like it's getting serious. He told me about his friend, I'll call her Sarah, early on when we started dating. He said she's his best friend. They've been friends since they were 9. They were neighbors growing up, lived together for a year after college, but she's been working overseas for several years. He hadn't seen her in a long time, and even though they talked somewhat regularly, I assumed she was like a sister, but now I'm questioning that. Suddenly, Sarah decides to come for a visit and asks to stay with him for a week, and he says yes, without telling me first. Then when she gets here, she says she's moving back to the States, but isn't sure where yet, but probably not our area, ? What bothers me is he's really different when she's around. Like, his humor is different. He's more standoffish with me. He talks all about her and all of these great things she's done. They don't really flirt, but it's obvious they have a lot of history, inside jokes, etc. I stayed over with the first night she was there, and he wasn't interested in having sex. He said he was too tired. Yesterday, I was coming over in the afternoon, waited for an hour on his front step until he showed up with Sarah. They had gone for a walk and gone to lunch and forgotten about me coming over. Apparently, he left his phone at home. I was pissed off. So I left, and he came by to my house later, but apparently only because she told him to. I don't think he's the type to cheat, but it seems obvious he's really emotionally attached to her, and I think it's weird, like she just shows up after years and they're super tight. Feel like I'm on the outs. I know they have a ton of history together, like stories and memories or anything, but I can't shake the sense there's something more going on. She's supposedly leaving in 5 days, but who knows? Am I being the jealous girlfriend? Should I say something? Wait it out? So yeah, like, do you think she's overreacting?
I think this is the first one I'm on the fence about. Like the other ones, I very much had a camp to be in.
Yeah.
I don't think she's overreacting.
Hmm.
I say that with an asterisk because it's like,
yeah,
I'm on the fence with this one.
Yeah, because like it is a childhood friend that he hasn't seen in a long time. Obviously, they would have some sort of chemistry that's different from you, a lot of history, inside joke. It is a little weird that he's being very distant with her all of a sudden, though. And apparently, like, he only came over because she told him to, which at least puts up some green flags for Sarah. Like, she's not trying to, like, steal him or anything. If you go on Reddit a lot, you hear these stories of like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's like childhood female friend is like weirdly intimate with him, and it's always like the childhood friend is like a secret evil manipulator trying to like cut OP out of the relationship.
Yeah.
So like that hasn't happened yet. And the relevant comments are like, you're not crazy, but you are being a little bit jealous right now. It doesn't sound like anything's going on. And, Sarah sent him over to go talk to you after he kind of ignored you. So it doesn't seem like anything crazy is going on, right? Right?
Yeah. Right. Right.
All right. Update. Yeah. So I have an update faster than I thought I would, but it's not great. I took some advice in text or call him yesterday, but he called and asked me to come over and talk last night, and I thought for sure he was breaking up with me, but that's not what happened, although what did happen might be worse. Sarah wasn't around when I got there. She apparently went out somewhere for the night. Basically, Josh told me the truth about them. They are best friends and they do talk and text regularly, probably more than I realize, but they also did used to be involved. He says she's more than an ex, which was really confusing until he explained what he meant. Apparently, after college, he and Sarah lived together and then they were together for a while. Apparently, she got pregnant accidentally pretty early on in the relationship and then the baby died. Don't know exact details of what it was, but it was really traumatic for the both of them, and they only lasted for a short time after that. She took a job overseas, and they ended up breaking up sometime after that. He said the two of them never really talked about what happened until this week, and he realized he's never grieved the loss, and so he needs time for her this week to process it so he can hopefully move on. I don't know what to do with this info. Not only is she not just a friend, she's the mother of his only child, ? I asked why he didn't tell me this before. He said he was going to tell me about losing the baby eventually if we decided to take things to the next level, but that hadn't happened yet. And he never really told me about Sarah because she just disappeared and he hasn't seen her more than a few times briefly since it happened. So basically, he thought it wasn't a huge issue until she suddenly showed up. So now I'm more confused. He said he was really sorry, but asked for the next few days with Sarah before she leaves to try and get some sort of closure on the whole thing. Sounds like he wants to move on, and it also seems like she does as well because she's the one who's been telling him to talk to me. I have so many more questions, but I didn't ask them last night because he seemed so broken up about everything. I ended up staying over last night. We've talked. Yes, we had sex this time. And this morning, we both got up early, went to work. Not sure what to do now. Should I back off? Should I tell him how I feel? Ask that he not cut me out for the next few days while he's with her. Thought about taking the afternoon off and just going over and talking to Sarah. Would that be weird? I don't want to break up right now in case he's telling the truth. And after this, Sarah does go away and isn't an issue anymore. But my biggest worry is that even if they move on, he's never going to cut her out of his life. Now she has some sort of special place in his life I'll never have. I'm not sure how to proceed. Yeah, that one took a turn.
You have the weirdest taste in these. And what do you think, good sir?
I mean, I also did read the entire update thread, so again, I have more information, but, this is just a little bit insane. Like, yeah, so my childhood best friend is actually my ex, and we lost a child together, and I never told you about any of this, and he also, contradicts himself slightly, because they were apparently talking the entire time, but also he says he hasn't seen her that much, so, which is it? Are they in constant contact? Do they not talk very much?
I think one thing to remember about
Mm-hmm.
these Am I the Asshole posts, you're only getting one person's perspective.
Yeah.
And usually what it ends up being is like, I'm trying to make myself look as good as possible, whether on purpose or subconsciously. Which is why I always try and like consider that when reading these. Like it's the same thing with like when I'm in therapy and I'm telling my therapist stuff and he's like, this and that. I'm like, you're believing me? Like there's I could just be, talking out of my ass this entire time.
Yeah.
But I guess that's, part of catharsis is trying to be as truthful as possible. So who knows? There's like a spectrum to it all.
And just going to point this one out because it's relevant, there are some comments that are kind of pushing her to talk more with Sarah in case what he's saying is true. It's entirely possible he's just lying about it.
Yes.
And, according to OP, Sarah's pretty great. Like, they hung out, they got along pretty well, and it seemed like Sarah was, like, a nice person, which is part of the reason why, this kind of sucks for her. Anyways, like, final update, wall of text. So, she texted her again, or she texted the boyfriend again to try and, like, work things out, and didn't talk much for the rest of the day. Called when he got off work, we talked a little bit. He told me he would see me the next day. And I guess Josh and Sarah were planning to go on a hike, but then he got called into work. So I went over, took Sarah on the hike. It was actually really nice. We talked a lot about Josh. He told me about what he was like growing up. He had told me about the baby and had talked to me about it. I think maybe she was kind of upset about that. Gee, you think? She didn't really seem like she wanted to talk about the situation at all, but basically we both sort of agreed it was good for him to finally talk about it, deal with it. Then at the end of the hike, she told me she thought I was really great for her Josh and that she was happy he had me, which was probably BS considering what happened after. Hung out with the both of them for the rest of Saturday. There was some added drama last night because Sarah hurt her foot and had to be taken to the ER. Sunday morning, I dropped by Josh's house early, partially because I needed to pick up something I had there, and partially because I kind of wanted to see how they would react. When I walked into the kitchen, I saw Josh standing there hugging Sarah. I think she was crying or something. Anyways, I was like, what the hell's going on? Josh got really annoyed. He asked why I kept coming over, and I got really angry at him for the first time, yelled at him, asked why he didn't want me to. He didn't yell, but he seemed really mad I was there, which only confirmed my suspicious. Anyways, we started arguing. Josh went upstairs to grab my bag, and while he did, I saw a big box folder thing on his table. I should have mentioned he's a designer/artist for his job, but he also does a lot of his own stuff in sort of a graphic novel style. So it was all pictures he had drawn of Sarah, or some character who looked like her. He must have been working on it a long time, because there was a lot there. I kind of freaked out. I was so angry and hurt that apparently she's been his fucking muse or whatever the whole time. I was furious. When he came downstairs again, I was so angry. I picked up the folder, threw it. Apparently, so there was more than paper in there, something glass in there, and it shattered. Not the greatest moment. Part of me feels dumb. Part of me wishes I ripped it all up. Anyways, I was yelling and upset. Josh got really quiet. I could tell he was upset and angry, but just kept trying to get me to calm down. Sarah came back in, guest saw what happened, and asked if she could talk to me. She basically told me she was really sorry. She said Josh did not cheat on me with her. I have no idea, but she has no reason to lie. And she knows this is a really bad week, but she was leaving tomorrow. I never have to see her again if I didn't want to. Basically took full responsibility for what happened, and she was hoping that after this week, Josh could heal and things could finally move on. Anyways, I was so rattled and upset, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I'm a fucking mess, standing there crying, talking for the girl I'm pretty sure my boyfriend is in love with, and crying about him. At this point, I pretty much know this is the end of the relationship. But for some reason, I couldn't just end it with him right then and there with her around. Call me crazy, but I just couldn't give them the satisfaction of that. I figure I'd talk to them later in the day or the next day. But long story short, didn't matter because Josh came over later, broke up with me anyways. He basically said he wasn't in a place for a relationship, and it's not fair to me to wait for him. But asked if he had been sleeping with her. He said no. Asked if he was still in love. He said yes. Asked if they were getting back together. He said he didn't know, but that hadn't been discussed, and it wasn't the only reason he was breaking up. Who knows?
Make up your mind, Josh. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel sorry and stupid. Can't stop thinking about together this whole week. I know I shouldn't, but she was supposed to leave today. I really want to drive by and see if she actually did. Sucks so much. I'm devastated. I just want to crawl into a hole, forget the whole thing. Sorry, it sucks. TLDR. They were right. Lots of drama. They broke up.
So many bumps along that road.
Yeah.
I think it needed to happen though.
Yeah. Told you it was a fucking train wreck.
Jesus Christ. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
also, just in case you needed to know, all of the comments are now berating her for everything that happened, even though the previous events were because she listened to Reddit. This entire story can also be an object lesson of just don't listen to fucking Reddit.
Yeah. Oh, again, the same thing with like when reading these, take it with a grain of salt. If you're writing these, take the comments with a grain of salt. It goes both ways, guys.
Yeah.
But we hope you enjoyed this little time spent. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Follow us at Nexus at Night wherever fine social medias are found. You can follow me at Atlas Novak wherever fine social medias are found. Check out my other podcast, Generation Dan, that has new episodes every Friday. And you can follow Matt, who is not here, but he is always in our hearts and minds, at Wiggums 2Gs 2Zs, wherever fine social medias are found. How about you, sir?
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse or Beerus Rudicus, depending on social media.
What the fuck are you looking at right now?
I'm just trying to find the heart
something
attack
specific
video.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for watching, and until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.